Hello, BookTube. I'm Peg, the Book Prize addict, and I've been spending most of the autumn season, all of October, reading one of my old favorites, mysteries, suspense, crimes, those kind of things. And I'm here to report on some of the prizes today. I want to finish up those and get on to nonfiction November. And anyway, so I want to say, I've made no secret about it, I've always loved British, English, Scottish mysteries a lot more than American. I don't know if it's because it's just new and different to me, but I just love them. So I'm going to talk about three big ones that I've been following this year that the winners have all been announced in just a minute. But first I want to show you what I just finished. This was just published, John le Carré. It's called Agent Running in the Field. And that isn't that the running there is the fact that they run agents. It's called when you're in the spy world. And I just want to say that I think he's in his 80s, and I read an article that he said he's just going to keep writing because he's only happy when he's writing. So that's fine with me. I had talked about him quite a while ago. He had a series, the Smiley series. George Smiley was his first famous spy, and it's I think it's eight books. And in case you're wondering what they are, I wrote them out before, but they are now in a set, a match set on Amazon. All eight of them. I think it's eight. If not eight, it's six. But anyway, it covers them in order. So if you ever want to get started with John le Carré, that's a great place to start. That I think those are known as his best, but he's still pretty good. In fact, all those were about the Cold War and Russia, spies, etc. When the Cold War was over, I remember reading an article, will John le Carré be able to think of anything to write about, now that the Cold War is over? But he really has. He's put out quite a few books since then, and always about things that are immediate in the present. He did some with Middle Eastern problems, things that have come up, and this one actually has some things about Brexit and the spies' comment on Trump. So it makes it very, very immediate. So you can start. You can start here. You don't have to start about any place, because these are all independent that he writes now. They're all about spies and great stories, great atmospheres, what I like, and his characters are really well drawn, even the bad ones. So anyway, I just wanted to talk about that first. I'm hoping it might win some prize next year. Perhaps it'll be on Steve Donahue's best mystery and suspense list. We'll get to that later. He puts out a bunch of lists in December that I try to follow. Okay, so if you see that in your library, I gave up on waiting at the library. It was going to be months before I read it, so I actually bought that one. Okay, I'm going to go over quickly three different prizes that I've been following. Some of the books I've read, some I haven't, but I know they're all good, and they're all British, UK prizes. Okay, the first one I want to talk about is the McIlvanney Prize. Incidentally, I have links to all these at the bottom, so you can see not only who won, but where it's held, and who and what the long list was. The McIlvanney Prize that was a suspense writer, and he may still be alive, and actually he has a son now who's writing, who is in some of these. Okay, but it is for the Scottish Book Prize of the year for suspense. And I love any of these from any of those countries over there because of the atmosphere. And these days, they put them in real places, so I can look up where they are, and, unless it's historical, and really get a feel for it. One of the runners-up, not the winner, was called The Way of All Flesh. That sounds familiar, doesn't it? And it's a historical suspense that takes place in Edinburgh in 1847. The winner is A Treachery of Spies. I haven't started it, but I've read several great reviews that it's a complex, I love spy novels anyway, that it's quite complex and goes backward and forward in time. So I'm looking forward to that. So that was the winner there. Okay, the next one I want to talk about, I hope I'm pronouncing these right, is the Theakston Old Peculier Mystery Prize. This has been going on for, I think, like 15 years. And you can correct me if you're wrong, but I think Old Peculier is kind of whiskey, but I'm not sure. But I seem to remember from years before it was. So, and it is quite well known, and the prize is given in July at Harrogate in a big festival they have there. All kinds of fun things going on. So it would really be fun to go to that sometime. I'll show you a runner-up of that, and then the winner of that one. It was announced in July. Okay, one of the runners-up is Liam McIlvanney. I think it's the son of the other prize the guy's name's for, called the Quaker. The Quaker is the serial killer who seems to leave some sort of hint that he might be religious or something around. And this is so well done because it takes place in Glasgow in 1969 in a very cold winter. So I could look up, Glasgow and the places they went around there. And it deals with, I like it when they have policemen and they get into their relationships with each other. They never get along. And of course, the good one always figures out who did it. This was a very unusual, I guess you would say, ending. Okay, and the winner of this, the Theakston Old Peculier, was called 13 by Steve Kavanaugh. And it has, I've seen it advertised a lot. The serial killer isn't on trial, he's on the jury. And it kind of sounds funny, like it's slapstick or not serious, but I've seen some reviews of it. I mean, it won the prize, and it's really very well rated. I do like a trial mystery, a jury, and a what do you call it? So I guess that is. I'm not sure how the serial killer gets there, but I'm sure he'll figure out some interesting way. I need to get to this one pretty soon. Okay, I've saved for last my very favorite crime book prize of all, called the Daggers. This is put on by the Mystery Writers Association. They had their big to-do in London last month and announced the winners. And the thing that I like about it, you can click below. They have like, how many different categories? They have like about 8 different categories of mystery and suspense. And I have a few of them here. The historical, they have the historical dagger, which is mystery, and the one that won this year is by S.G. McLean, called Destroying Angel. And this takes place in Yorkshire in 1655, and it has to do with the black arts and the government-appointed enforcer of Puritan morality. Anyway, I think this guy has had several others. I think I'm familiar with that name. Probably somebody like Mel would be able to tell us. Okay, let's see, where are the others? Oh, okay. There's one of the other prizes is called the John Creasy Prize for New Blood. That's a debut, of course. This one is from Australia. It's called Scrublands. And it was the Sunday Times Crime Book of the Month, I guess, there in Australia. It starts out kind of interesting. In the country town ravaged by drought, a charismatic young priest opens fire on the congregation, killing 5 men before being shot dead himself. So that it opens rather strangely. I don't think I've heard anything about this from our Australian writers, probably because it's a crime and not really literary fiction, but it seems to have gotten quite a nice reviews in the Guardian, Sunday Times, Mail on Sunday. So I think some of these are pretty close to literary fiction for mysteries. I mean, they're not quite, but pretty satisfying. What do I have here? Am I down to okay, the last one I have here is the overall winner of the Gold Dagger, it's called, the very best suspense novel. And this was taken by The Puppet Show by M.W. Craven. I just finished this last night, and it is terrific. Again, I have to say the thing I like best is the atmosphere and since I haven't been in these places very much, the feeling of the places and being able to look them up. This one took place in the Lake Country and has to do with the prehistoric stone circles that are there. Crimes take place there, and I could look up each stone circle that that the crime took place in, and each town they went to on the searching for the killer. And again, this has a very good character as the main detective. He's been in trouble, but he's coming back. So anyway, this was certainly what I was looking for when I look for things that are written in different countries than I live in. So anyway, give some of these a try. What else was I gonna say? Okay, I think that's it, except I did want to show you my crocheted poncho kind of. Now, crochet is different than, I was going to show you a crochet hook. Anyway, it's different than knitting in that it usually has big holes in it. It's not something you wear to keep warm. I mean, it gives you a little warmth, but not much. So anyway, that's it for me in mysteries. I'm going to start on some nonfiction and be back later. Thanks. Bye.